Afraid it's too late.
Oh, stick to jiggling your keys, Vera.
Non-compliance with Rule 29, subsection 3. Loss of privileges for 2 weeks for the whole block.
Oh, come off it. That rule hasn't been enforced for years.
Then it's time it was, isn't it?
I want to see the governor.
That's probably another privilege.
That's right.
No, Smith can see the governor, Miss Bennett. It's not a privilege. Mrs. Davidson will be happy to explain her policy on breach of regulations, just so there's no confusion.
But what about loss of privileges?
Miss Bennett's orders will stand.
Well, the devil looks after his own, doesn't he?
Herbert Smith, Doctor.
Dr. Miller?
Sit down, please. What can I do for you?
Just a checkup.
I see. Roll your sleeve up, will you?
Nice place you got here. Just busy, huh?
Pretty busy.
Do all the work yourself. You must get a pretty rough sort of customer around here.
Really?
They'd pay you, get the cops to keep an eye on the place.
Why do you say that?
Oh, you know, just the junkies and that, people wanting drugs, and you can't be too careful.
No, I suppose not. But since I live here myself, I don't suppose anyone will be fool enough to break in, do you? Right, roll your sleeve down now. Well, Mr. Smith, your blood pressure is a bit high.
Is it serious?
No, not if you take it easy. You seem to be under considerable strain.
Yeah.
Tell me, what do you do for a living?
Huh? I'm a bookmaker.
Well, in that case, it shouldn't be too difficult to take some time off.
Sure. You look like you could do with some time off, too.
Oh, I'm afraid not. I have to stick around in case I get burgled by junkies.
You could get someone to look after the place. Take a trip, go up to Surface or somewhere.
Now, why should I do that?
Just an idea, that's all. Nobody's seen you.
Shady-looking customer, Mr. Smith?
Tells me he's a bookie.
Oh, that'd explain it, then.
More like a petty crim, if you ask me.
You don't think he pinched anything, do you?
Not this time, but I'd say he was casing the place.
Do you want me to call the police?
If he's as obvious as all that, I doubt he'd have the brains to break in.
But what if he did break in and you surprised him? He might be dangerous if cornered.
I've never seen a less dangerous-looking character in my life.
No reported misdemeanours in Block C. Block H are on report for not making their beds at the correct time. Contravention of Rule 29, subsection 3.
Was that necessary?
I was merely following your instructions.
I wouldn't make a meal of it, Miss Bennett. There is a difference between tightening up and alienating the women completely.
But you said that
I am not countermanding your orders, merely making a suggestion.
Smith's outside. She wants to see you.
About the report, I take it. Bring her in.
Smith?
I wonder if I could speak to you, Mrs. Davidson, alone.
Miss Bennett stays, Smith. I believe you have a grievance about discipline.
As a matter of fact, yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, you know damn well that rule hasn't been enforced for years.
What's your language, Smith?
It is being enforced now.
Coming on a bit heavy, aren't you? Why don't you get the whole hog and bring back thumbscrews and whips? Vera'd have a field day.
That's enough, Smith. If you wish to spend a few more days in solitary, continue with your insolence. I'm glad you see my point of view. I shall be only too happy to see yours once the women understand that flagrant breaches of discipline will be dealt with severely.
It was only making our beds, for God's sake.
It appears a number of the women have forgotten that the freedom they receive is in direct proportion with the sense of responsibility they show.
And does that mean we're going to be followed around and locked up every minute of the day?
Yes, until the balance is restored.
I see. And you're asking me to bring the rest of them into line.
I'm not asking you anything. However, with a certain amount of cooperation, you may find that the discipline is not quite so harsh.
Fair enough. What about Doreen's visit? Is that one of the privileges suspended?
You may make another request in a fortnight's time.
It'll be too late then.
That is your problem.
You're telling me. Quite the gentleman of leisure.
Oh, hello, Meg.
No patience.
I'll say one thing for the new security. It's cut the number in half.
Good. Then you can be in the governor's office by 5, then.
What for?
To congratulate the husband apparent.
You're doing?
Well, I did suggest it.
I appreciate the way you're handling this, Meg.
What, would you rather I scratch Karen's eyes out? Oh, for heaven's sake, Greg, stop oozing guilt. I'm happy for you, honestly.
That's the bathroom, and the bedroom's down there. Doreen, this is Betty, and that's Tracy. Doreen.
Good day, Doreen.
Hello.
It's a lot better than the Sydney joint. Isn't it, Tracy?
Yeah. Well, how about a cup of tea?
Love one. What about you, Trace? Not used to making her own decisions. Been out a couple of months and still can't get used to it. You been out long, Doreen?
Yeah, a while. How about showing Tracy to a room? Oh, yeah, okay. Come on.
I thought you said you was worried about Doreen.
Looks like everything's going to be all right, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I don't see how we're going to get a present to Karen if we're all on report.
Bloody Vera. She ought to be in the Gestapo.
No luck?
You
Got a
rotten...
complaint, Birdsworth?
Yes, Miss Bennett, and it's you for starters.
No, can it, Lizzie? It's no good.
Well, at least Smith's woken up.
Yeah, and it's time somebody waking you
Oh,
up.
don't take it so hard. It's only 2 weeks. Now get back to work, ladies. There are regulations about that, too.
Are you gonna take this lying down?
We're going to have to grin and bear it.
Well, I'm not. I'm sick to death of that Bennett pushing us around while she gets her kicks.
Bennett's not the problem. She likes to make our life a misery, but if we play ball, she can't touch us.
Have you been out in the sun?
Look, Davidson gave it to me straight. One of us rocks the boat, the rest of us gets in the neck. So we're going to have to make sure that things are more or less under control if we don't want to get lumbered for dumb things like not making our beds.
Makes sense.
We're going to have to teach that Colson brat how to behave herself.
You are gonna clobber her.
Just once. Just to teach her a lesson. Okay?
Yes, Mrs. Davidson, I'll tell him. Mrs. Davidson, I'd like to see Coulson.
Yeah, right.
Wentworth Detention Centre. Oh, yes, just a moment. Mr. Fletcher, it's for you.
Fletcher?
Jimmy, Jeff Butler.
Jeff? Well, where'd you spring from?
Oh, here and there. How are you?
Not bad, old son. Not bad. How are you?
Never better. How are the ladies treating you? Well, Wentworth Detention Centre for Wayward Women. Didn't think that was your style.
Well, you know, mate, it's a change. How about you?
Never better. I got out of the army 3-4 years ago and went back to the West. Well, looking for a bigger game, actually. You know, there's millions to be made here if you put your mind to it.
Oh, yeah? What's your line? Stock market?
No, actually, it's a long story, you see. I started this joint just outside.
Yeah, listen, mate, I'm on duty.
Oh, sorry, mate. Look, how about dinner? Oh, I'd like to see Leela.
Well, look, why don't I meet you here after work? Say about 5 o'clock. We can, go and have a drink and catch up on old times, eh?
You're a born salesman. See you at 5.
Right. Looking forward to it, mate. Coulson. Coulson, Mrs. Davidson.
Thank you, Mr. Fletcher. Sit down, Rosalind.
No, thanks.
Your time in solitary is up, but I would like an explanation about your behavior.
Oh, really?
Coulson?
Did Latham put you up to stealing the drugs?
What if she did? I took the rap.
I can still call in a visiting justice about this.
Call him in.
I don't wish to, but your attitude is not encouraging.
What's wrong with it? I told you the truth. I took the drugs, and I took the rap. Do you want me to thank you as well?
Watch it, Coulson.
I wonder if you'd mind waiting outside, Mr. Fletcher.
I want him to stay. I want witnesses.
As you wish. I am obviously wasting my time. But I warn you, you will be watched closely. At the slightest hint of trouble, you will be placed back in solitary, and the visiting justice will hear the charge.